Well, welcome, one and all. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number 1 in the chat box to let me know that you can. I would truly, and I do mean truly, appreciate it. All right. And 1.618. There we go. Thank you, Lee. Hey, Kevin. Afternoon. Afternoon, John. Morning, Jennifer. All right, Brenda, good morning. I am off cam. Yep, I just haven't turned it on yet. It's one thing at a time, but I appreciate the reminder there. There it is. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, hope it's been a good trading day for you so far, man. I am stoked. It has been an awesome day so far today. I hear you. I hear you. Hey, Andres, good to see you, sir. Morning, Helen. All right. Hey, all. Yep. There you go. As we do get started, keep in mind that everything we look at is for educational purposes. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. My camera okay? No? Okay. Sorry, I'm just in a fun mood today. All right. Hey, Erica. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Lots coming up, guys. Got Inner Circle check-in tonight, 7 p.m. We've got Trade Watch alerts tonight at 8 p.m. Amelia is excited for her Q&A this evening. I spoke with her a little bit earlier today. Mastermind group tomorrow on the 6th. The 7th, we've got Trading You. Monster Market Movers is next week on the 14th. You got Power Hour and Trading Coaches Playbook, regular schedule this week. Brandon has 2 trainings coming out, one this week, one next week, called How to Trade the Markets. Guys, if you have not seen him teach this before, he does a phenomenal job of showing you step by step the things that he does right now to go ahead and trade the markets. The things he's using today that works for him, right? Power Hour, Covered Call, E-mini, Vegas Spread Mastery, all on their regular schedule. All right. And if you are in, by the way, if you're in Trade Watch Alerts, you don't have to do anything. You will be registered automatically for the training. You'll get an email that says, oh, you're registered. And then you'll get the continuation emails from Zoom and so forth, right? Lee dropped in a link to how to trade the markets. I appreciate that, Lee. Thank you. Here's our follow us page. Folks, listen, you really need to follow along with the things that we do out there, right? Keeping up with the latest and greatest, follow us on YouTube and Facebook and all the other trainings, platforms rather, but keep up with everything we do on tradinglikeaboss.com. Folks, on that site is all of our free resources. So if you remember, I think it was last week, maybe someone can remind me, it's kind of all faded together, was last week when we did the how to make $1,000 a day trading, or was that the week before? It was one of the two. In that training, we probably took 30 minutes of this class just to go over that, right? It was on the 22nd, last week. Yeah, Erica said that was awesome the week before. All right. So it was within, it doesn't matter, right? It's published, it's posted, it's done. But what we've done is we took that training, we stripped out the actual training on how to make $1,000 a day. That's going on our YouTube channel. You would not know that if you weren't here, to let me know. Now you got to keep looking for it. Instead, go to YouTube, subscribe, and then ring the little bell, click the little bell, and you'll get a notification. Every time we put a new training up, you'll be notified. We're putting that training up as one of our newer trainings that we're putting out there, guys. It was just smoking. I think we had some great pieces come out of there. I got a lot of phenomenal feedback, so I appreciate the emails and the comments from you guys, some of the social stuff, the DMs and all of that. Very much appreciated, right? And of course, follow along with Trade with Rob. If you're not getting those free emails a couple of times a week, I think you're making a mistake. There's so much great content and there's so many great trade setups that you've got opportunities for, and you do nothing to find them. I do all the work, show you how to trade them. It's all inside of Trade with Rob. And you can find all of this on tradinglikeaboss.com. All right? Excellent. There you go, Lee. I appreciate that. Here's our Trading Boss Manifesto. Some of you have heard me say this before. I have lamented over this, changing tiny little words, having others in the industry read it, others in business read it, my own writers going back and forth on the content inside of here on what it takes to make you a trading boss. This is the manifesto. This is our commitment to you. I tell my children all the time, the commitment from parent to child is much different than child to parent. They didn't ask to be brought here. We brought them to this world. So it's our responsibility to do everything we can to help them, to guide them, to make them successful, to be there for them when they need us to be, right? Mail's here. Okay. Being a trading boss is the same thing, guys. Our commitment to you is to help get you there. Obviously, I can't help my kids get there if they're not willing to do any work. Listen, you need to get good grades in school and they don't go. You know, I got to figure out how to make them go, right? It's a little different. I can do that when they're 12 years old. I can't do that to you that is 30, 40, 50, plus, minus, whatever the numbers are, years old to force you to go, right? You need to get to the trainings here, Power Hour. You need to be in Trading Coach's Playbook every week. You need to be anything in the free trainings you do, you should be in it every single week. And we do offer quite a few of those, right? Indeed, indeed, indeed. There you go, Erica. All right. Good. All right. And this is Brandon's class, How to Trade the Market in only a few minutes a day. Have a high probability of success while being spoon-fed every detail of the trade. I got a good friend of mine who's a phenomenal trader. Doesn't have a lot of time in his life. He's a brand new author. He's got an amazing book. It's just, he's crushing it with his book. Was just in a major movie with Kelsey Grammer. Just did another movie this weekend. Didn't even know he was there. He was in Chicago area doing another movie this weekend. So he's a good trader, doesn't have a lot of time available. I turned him on to what Brandon's going to be teaching you, how to trade the market in a few minutes a day. I turned him on to that. He is crushing it with this. And he didn't have, the great thing is he doesn't have to be a good trader. Brandon's telling him this is what we're doing, right? So you want to check out how Brandon does that exactly inside of there. All right. So at this point, what companies, what candidates, what trades did you do today? Drop them in. I want to see. Now, it could be today. Maybe you didn't get anything off today. Tell me that. That's okay. I don't care if they're funded or non-funded. I don't care if you lost money, broke even, made money. It doesn't matter. We're going to consider everything non-funded, and we're going to consider everything as a trade that you're doing to better yourself to become that phenomenal trading boss, right? We're trying to do everything we can to motivate you, to move you in that direction. If you can't tell, I got a lot of energy today, right? It's been a good day. It's been a very good day. So let's see. Okay, nothing so far for Brenda. PK said, I loved him in Jesus Revolution. I wish I could have seen him longer. Me too. He did a great job in that movie. He really did. Phenomenal. You know, and he gave me a website that you could go to and you could see how they're doing, what the sales are for the movie itself. And he was butting head to head with their movie, not his, but the movie was butting head to head with Cocaine Bear. I'm like, okay, go figure. What a society we live in when we're on to watch a movie called Cocaine Bear, right? Let's see, Jim didn't get any trades off. Jim, are you talking about in TradeStation? Turn the chart on snap mode. Is that in 9.5 if it was, or is that just in 10? Because I know 10 does it automatically. Erica said, Apple, 1,025 initially, then got in again, up 225 now. Great job, Erica. Where did I do on Apple? I'll share mine in a little bit, but I did an Apple trade today as well. So fantastic. Nothing for Andres so far. John said, Wheel of Fortune, Beyond, Naked Puts, Riot, GameStop, ka-ching. I did GameStop again today, John. Did it on Friday, did it again today, right, for another naked put. And Roku, cash flow, $1,200 today. Today, folks. If that's all John did, if that's all he did, where is it? Where is it? Let me see something here. Come on, baby. Where are you open up? There you go. $1,200 times 52 weeks. 52 weeks. Nope, I must have missed something there. 1,200 times 52. There you go. $62,400 that you will not pay FICA, SUI, or FUI on. Right? Ordinary income does not count. You do not have long-term capital gains or any of that to contend with. So great job there, John. That's awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Yeah, I'm rocking it for sure. Rick said on Friday, 56% rate of return on Tesla. Great job, Rick. Rick is in our highest level coaching, our inner circle. PK said SPY for $310. NVIDIA's 2 contract for $465. Guys, that's $775 today. Today, for the day. I mean, when we talk about can you make $1,000 a day? PK, how many contracts did you do on SPY? You did 2 on NVIDIA. How many did you do on SPY? And I'll come back to that in a moment. Erica said 1,025 profit on Apple. Yep, there we go. I love it. I love it. Yes, 10. Oh yeah, on 10. I know you can do it on 10. And just I figured that part out. I was told that. 10, we have a problem with 10. When we're recording and stuff like that, 10 doesn't work well. The chart doesn't show up on the screen. You can't see some of the components of it. So we've actually, in our our corporate office, we had to revert back to 9.5. I've never switched in here to 10 at all. Let's see. Okay, so PK did 10 contracts on SPY. Way to go, way to go, way to go. Come on, where's PK? So 10 contracts on SPY and 2 contracts on NVIDIA. So guys, he's not trading huge, PK is not trading huge numbers, right? 10 contracts. Remember, on SPY, they expired today, right? You can get into those things for dirt cheap. Here, if you look, let me just pull this over for a sec. Let me grab SPY. Let me put my hollows back on. All right, so here we are at SPY. We're looking at, whoop, there is SPY. That's a more better. Looking at a 76 delta, you can buy that for $1.32, right? That's how inexpensive they are. With having daily options, definitely the wave of the future. Definitely the way we're going to see things go is having more companies with daily positions, right? Great job, everybody. So let me bring my charts up. And let me first take you over. Who's the first one I got on my list? All right. So those of you that are in Covered Call Explorer, you would have heard me Thursday's recording for Friday on GameStop. I was stoked on GameStop's options. I was stoked on the positioning of GameStop as far as the company go, you know, where they were on the chart, right? So I did the recording on Thursday. Let me just get rid of this. Right, so Thursday for Friday. So here is Thursday, right? Friday, we got a small move to the upside, which is what I wanted. I picked up, I want to say 48 cents on Friday. I don't remember exactly what it was. 48 cents on Friday, right? Options for them. Naked puts, all on naked puts. Right now, the stock right now is 25 and jingle. We're at the $21 strike price on naked puts on GameStop. $21 strike. We're talking about, woo, get down there, baby, below the 55. True bullish bias. We got to bounce off of the 8. We have confluence of the 8 in this fib line. Great structure. Realizing, had you just done that one trade, you could have paid for your entire quarter of Covered Call Explorer just on that one trade. JOT, just one trade, baby. It's all about just one trade, right? So I did it again today, got 35 cents on it today, 21s again. Got 35 cents for it today. If we look right now, the 21s, 21 putas are mid price of 28 cents. Okay. So 27 by 28 is the pricing on it right now. So it's going down in price, which is good. That's what I wanted. If they make me buy GameStop, no worries. I'm going to go over here to the right side. I'm going to find a 40 delta. I got a 38 delta. I'm going to sell that 27 half, assuming it was right where it is now. I'm going to sell that 27 half strike for $1.22, $1.25 for a $25 stock. How many times you got to do that to rock, right? To take your cost basis down below 20 bucks, 3 weeks, right? So I'm not worried if they make me buy the stock. I'll buy it. I'll write covered calls. It's not like an AMC where it doesn't hold its value any longer. All right. Let's see. All right. So that was the first one for me today was GameStop. Right. Number 2 was Apple. Right. Why Apple? Rob, it did not break through. It gapped up and you took the trade on the gap up. Yeah. So if we look, we got a line at 182.40 fib line. Right. Remember that number in your head. Apple, 182.40. If I go to a 5-minute chart, it's not going to help me any. I gapped and ran, right? I had to look at the 1 minute. And keep in mind that this is normally my 5 right here. So thought I had this open somewhere. Where is it? Let me just start up a fictitious recording. I just need the drawing tool. Where'd it go? Oh, there we are. Okay. Finally popped. One, blast off, pause. Okay, good. So this is my 5, and this is my 1 minute chart right here. So when I saw on the 5, we had gapped up, we're stretching down and pull back. I went over to look at the 1 minute chart to see what the stock was doing there. And was it getting me near that 182.5? Now I'm going to bring this one bigger. And I'm just going to turn it into a 1. It's just easier than drawing a line a second time. All right. So what happened? We gapped up. We pulled back. We closed just below. We broke through as we got up to about 183. I'm sorry, 183.5 is where I took it. I did the 180 calls. And I use my micro day trading strategy for exits. I'm not ready to teach it yet. So I will, hopefully within the next couple of months, be ready to start sharing some of that to you guys. And just blew the doors off with it, right? 70 cents, 10 contracts, $700. I'll take it all day long, and wasn't hardly in the trade very long at all, right? Which was the best part of it, right? So Apple was number 2 on the list for me today. Number 3 was Meta. So Apple got a gap. Why did I trade the gap? That's important to understand. Apple has their meeting today. They're going to announce this VR headset today. They're actually talking about, I don't think you'll hear price on it today. You may hear a hint, but they're talking about this VR headset being thousands of dollars. And they think that, Apple lovers, right? The people that just buy Apple, they think they're going to see them flocking in droves to buy this headset. I hope so for Apple's sake. Okay. Then we go look at Meta. Let me unscrunch this here. There we go. So this is today's candle. We had gapped, we opened flat on Friday, right? Open, closed, flat on Friday, a little bit of wick up and down. Today we gapped down, and 269.40 is support. And where was our low today? Our low was 269.56. 16 cents above that fib line is where we went to. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 276.27 is our resistance, right? So we're looking at, on a stock this price, we'd be looking for $1 below. So 275.25. We hit a high of 275.57. So we ran right into our target today. Out of that trade with the GTC, no stop triggered, beautiful setup. So let's look. Let me write numbers down here. I've already got the 269.40, right? And we also need 276.27. Okay. So let's go do it. Meta. So here's my 269.40, right? That's the white line that's down there. We're looking at, but that was resistance, right? 276.27 is resistance. So let's snap that line in. Oh, I already have a line there. That's what I'm going to use. So we're just going to do the 275.25, 275.25, right? Boom, chakalaka. So right in there, that setup right there, that candle right in there was our exit for the day. 11:20, we're out of that trade. We're in the trade just shy of 10 o'clock, right? Yeah, what was it? Right here. So on that 10 o'clock candle, somewhere on that candle is where we entered on that trade, okay? And if we look right now, I don't know if we're there or not. Now we're going to have to change it up. So let's go to Apple for a second. Let's go back to Meta. We're looking at the 270 calls is what we did. So we got into 270s at 450. Right now they're at 280. Right? Call them 650. I mean 680. Call them 650. right? You're talking about a $2 move on Meta, right? If you did 10 contracts, $2,000. If you did one contract, that's $200, right? Those 270s, yeah. Those 270s have 3,200 open interest and 2,600 volume today. So, man, just ran, full steam ahead. So Erica said these trades were sent out on the Rob report, correct? So no, so GameStop, Erica, was last week on Thursday on Covered Call Explorer. Okay. The Apple and Meta trades are the trades we take inside of Power Option Plays, right? They weren't part of Trade with Rob. At least I don't, they might have been, but I don't remember it being so. I just don't remember the symbols from last week's, right? We don't do a lot of them on Friday. You're welcome, Erica. Absolutely. So guys, as far as today goes, as far as I'm concerned, we rock. We crushed it. You're talking $2,000 on one, 700 on another. We're still in GameStop right now. That was $350. So you're talking about $3,000 for the day. I'm talking about you getting $1,000 for the day. And here we're triple that, $3,000, right? Make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Look for that news video that's going to come out, which is how to make $1,000 a day. And if you haven't done so already, go back and well, you can't do it yet. If you haven't seen it already, is what I meant to say. When it does come out, watch it again and again and again. If you did see it, just go back and watch it and watch it and watch it until it's ingrained in your brain. There's a function that you could save videos. I do that all the time. I break them up into categories. Right, where you could save videos on your YouTube channel so you can go back and watch them again. So definitely take advantage of it. All right. Good. So let's go ahead and let's shift gears for a second and go back over to the market. So we're still having problems with the data from the exchange on Omega charts. Everything up till today is accurate. Today's intraday stuff is off on SPX and VIX. But if we look right now, we're at 42.94 right now. So I'm just going to change this red line to 42.94. I did not want to duplicate it. I just wanted to change it. That's a single click. 42.94. All right. So that's where we are right now, near the high of the day on the S&P 500, guys. And when you break this down and look at what's going on here, right? Overall, really nice pattern, nice trending, moving up. We had this original bullish trend line in here, and we seem to have deviated from that and have not been able to get down that far any longer, right? So there's almost a new sheriff in town as far as angle of attack that we're looking at there. I'm not ready to draw that on there just yet, but just to point out, our lows are not getting back as low as they were. When you look at the VIX and see that we are 1487, guys, we closed Friday at 1460, but we're at 1487, right? That takes us down into such a low range on the VIX, one that we haven't seen in like 2 years, closing at that point, below that point. We have been there a year and a half ago or so with a wick, but we haven't closed below that 14, what I have there Friday, 65, 1460. We have not closed below the 1460 in over 2 years is what it was, all COVID related stuff, right? So fear is definitely down. What's causing it, right? Why is fear down? So a couple of things. Number one, the debt ceiling was, whether you felt it or not, meaning in your own life or just seemed to be, the debt ceiling was a major concern. If we defaulted on all of this foreign monies owed, penalties and some of the other things are something that could have really hurt, not to mention the relationship of, if you can't keep your own country in order, why do we want you as that clearing currency? Why do we want to do business with you? Why do we want to trust that your money, your word is good, right? Full faith of the United States government. Yeah, no faith if we default, right? And you should go and find out those that are people that you vote for in Congress, the House, all of that, senators, all of that, and go find out who in your state voted no. So what did they vote for? There wasn't a choice. It wasn't like, well, no, don't do this one, do this instead. It was, no, I'm not voting yes for it. So they voted to default. right? You may want to consider, I don't care who they are, Republican, Democrat, anybody. You may want to consider, I probably don't want you back, right? And leading the pack, Bernie Sanders and AOC. Not that I would vote for her at all, but I mean, there's no way. But the answer was no. We're voting no. We're no to the debt ceiling. Really? Okay. Doesn't make sense to me, but that debt ceiling was a major, major concern, right? Once we get through all of that, and yes, we've got an agreement in place. It's going to be signed by the president over the weekend, blah, blah, blah. You see how much the VIX has dropped. It's kind of, whoo, okay. I thought she was cheating on me. I had to follow her by a private detective and she's not. So, I feel better, right? Oh, all that stress off of you, right? I'm not saying that, but you get it, right? That stress of what's going on, the unknown of what's going on with the debt ceiling was huge, okay? That's a big part of it. We seem to have climbed out. I will tell you officially here what I said for the first time as a yes over the weekend in power option plays is we have shifted. I have shifted now to I am willing to look at only aggressive, but I'm willing to look at directional swing trades right now back in power option plays. Right. So those of you that were saying, all right, Rob, I'm waiting to get back in because I want to get some directional trades. This is it. We already went ahead and called one out yesterday. One trade was set up because we had such a big move on Thursday and Friday. So one trade set up. So life is good. If you're in power option plays, you haven't watched the video yet, we are back to a point. We're going to start looking at swing trades now on our 20 stocks, which are the 20 that are on the left-hand side there. Okay. Of course, following a series of rules, we're probably either the next mastering the trade, or I'll do it in one of the trainings, one of the pop videos themselves. We're probably going to just refresh on some of the rules since it's been such a long time since we took a directional trade. We haven't taken one this year. When I say directional, I'm talking about holding overnight. We have not taken an overnight hold trade this year yet on power option plays. So this is huge, right, for us. Les said maybe they had a bunch of puts, so we're looking to profit. Yeah, there you go, Rick. Woo! Brenda said bottom line is when you put people, they have their own agenda. Yeah, it doesn't matter who they are, right? I remember I'm watching Blue Bloods one night, and the guy got elected mayor, and he's talking to the district attorney, assistant district attorney, and she said, I liked a lot of things that you said in your campaign. He had won, right? In your campaign, he goes, yes, and most of them were true. And he said, which ones? And he goes, well, what does it matter? They all have to be true now. I won, right? So yeah, it kind of flubbed it a little bit to make it sound better. That's a politician's job, right? It's just that. How do we make it sound better, right? Was a big part of it. But guys, VIX down as far as it is right now, right? The concerns are much, much, much less. Right now, the concern of default is much less right now. Travel is still very high right now, very high. The fear of COVID has pretty much subsided. We're not really hearing about it. I think it took a lot longer than was planned. I was glad to see in debt ceiling that we clawed back the monies that were not spent on COVID that were allocated. This way, some politician doesn't just figure out a way they can use that money. I need a new park, and it's in case kids get COVID, they have a place to go play. Yeah, maybe, but probably not, right? So I was glad to see those monies go back into the budget, or the ability to use them again elsewhere instead of for something we didn't need. Okay, so I think the reduction in spending, I think, was going to help. I think that's eased some people's minds as well. The interest rates are still an issue, and that's the biggest thing we've got to deal with. And you've heard, if you've been listening to some of the Fed lately, not just Powell, but some of the other presidents, chair, whatever. If you listen to some of these guys, members rather, not chair, members, if you listen to some of them, and men and women, them, guys is everybody. Sorry, that's my pronoun, guys, everybody, okay? If you're listening to some of the other Fed members, you'll hear them say, if we decide not to raise this time around, it doesn't mean it's a pause, right? It doesn't mean that we're done. It could just be that we're holding off, looking for more data. And that's been a theme that's rang multiple times right now from some of the Fed members. So don't trust that if it does happen, meaning we don't get a raise this, next week, Wednesday of next week, 14th, that we don't get a raise next week on the 14th, that doesn't mean that we're done going up, right? So as far as rate hikes go, good news on unemployment last week, all of that. And that's helping to bolster the market a little bit, all of that. The thought of, ooh, maybe we're getting to a point that things will get a little bit better, right? And that's very possible. Again, all cautionary tales as far as when I'm ready to trade, which is why I like a couple of things. Why I like the day trades right now, still more favorable to the day trades, because I'm in, I'm out, I'm not worried about the overnight news. If I am taking directional swing trades, or I plan to hold overnight, it's going to be on the stocks that I know, like, and use, right? The companies like Google. Does anybody else besides me use them? Yeah, all the freaking time, right? They're in every part of your life. Download a new app on your phone. Would you like to log in with Google? Right? Google has access to everything now, right? So Google, big one for me. Apple, my kids, my wife, everybody's an Apple user, right? Amazon, yeah. I could tell you in the last 3 months, we've had almost 100 orders, and that's pretty much a running total for us, about 100 orders every 3 months from Amazon. It's just like, oh, listen, I need something. I need a kidney. Go on Amazon. I mean, that's kind of what it's like, right? Go on Amazon. Booking, I use Booking / Expedia all the time. Chipotle Mexican Grill, regular visitor. Costco, regular visitor. Google, of course. Goldman Sachs, they're okay. Home Depot, yeah, like 3 times a week for sure for me. MasterCard, got one, not a problem. Meta, of course, use that. Netflix, we use that all the time. NVIDIA, I do use them with some of their chips, I guess, but I'm just a big fan of what NVIDIA does, right? PayPal, use it all the time. Roku, I don't use it, but as far as company goes, I think they're awesome. SPY, Square, I use some Square's technology. Tesla, I don't drive one, but I just don't have the use for it. United Healthcare, they're not our provider. WDay, not us, right? But I know and like all of these companies, and they're not on my list, right? So make sure you know, like, and use wherever possible, right? And my wife asked me about teaching the market to the kids in her class. She teaches 6th grade. They're kids that need extra help, okay? So not necessarily that there's any learning deficiency there. They just may have one of 100 different things that are going on, right? And she said, could you actually teach this to kids like that maybe have attention disorder, And I said, well, she goes, do they even know what the stock market is? They don't have to. What do you mean? I said, if I ask your kids, do you know what Apple is? Would they know? They go, of course. How about McDonald's? They know McDonald's. Yeah, they know McDonald's. How about Nike? Yeah, well, how about we talk just on those 3 stocks alone, right? You can teach this to them, okay? It doesn't matter. Know, like, and use, right? Yeah, there you go. Jennifer goes, you guys versus y'all in Texas. Exactly. Or in Atlanta, right? Anywhere down south, right? Although it seems to skip a generation when you get to Florida. There is none of that there, all right? Excellent. Good. So let me take us back over to the presentation, and let's talk about trading the debt ceiling. And I chose this purposely for today. Why? Yes, I knew the debt ceiling was going to be over. We normally pick topic for today on a Wednesday. We didn't do this one until Thursday. We were a little bit behind. So we got it ready to send out. They resolved, and life was good. So I believe we were going to get a vote of yes, to raise the debt ceiling. What was going to be in it, I had absolutely no idea. Right? That really wasn't what they were releasing out there. I had no clue what that was going to come to, what that was going to entail. But as far as debt ceiling goes, okay, the news is out now. So are we worried about it? Do we need to worry any longer about it? Is it okay to trade it, to trade around? What should we be looking for? Okay, so a couple of things here. First off, keep something in mind, that we don't have to worry about this for another 2 years. They lifted all restrictions for the 2 years. They know what they're going to do. They're not increasing any spending. So we're good to go, right? Raising the debt ceiling is just printing more money. That's basically bottom line what it is. The Fed's already got the machine set up. They just got to hit the start button. That's it. It's preloaded. There's a half 100 already sticking out. They'll hit it, and that first 100 comes out immediately, right? So that goes across the board, okay? So it's the printing of more money, and of course we have nothing to back it up. There is no full faith and confidence of the U.S. government. That's all it is. There is no gold, the gold standard behind us any longer. That's long gone, okay? Yeah, exactly, Eric. Yeah, and Jennifer, that's just it. Could we still get a downgrade on borrowing? So here's the issue. The debt ceiling is out of the way, but it's still finance, it's still money, right? So what's happening in there? Where does that tie into, right? Tie it back to the Fed a little bit, right? If the Fed raises or lowers rates, what's going on? Tie it back to if we do start to get into that recessionary type mode, right? Tie it back into banks saying, you know what? You are not this perfect client that has $5 million in the bank to borrow $1 million from us, so we're not going to lend you money. Or we will. I talked to a buddy of mine who is a mortgage broker, and he said, yeah, Rob, if you didn't want to show any documentation as a single business owner, you know, blah, 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 he said, we can get you a loan, no question. He said, there's hardly any paperwork at all. I said, what's the rate? Now we're talking about when rates were 6 and jingle, right? 6.5 or so. He said the rate will be about 10 to 11%. Right now, I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money, right? And you had to put 30% down, which I'm not worried about the 30%. You had to put 30% down. So that's giving the bank enough confidence that if you do default, there's 30% of equity in there, and you're paying almost double on interest rates. So they're like, yeah, we'll take the risk on the debt, which is exactly the way my buddy explained it to me. That's why they're willing to take that risk on the debt. So what I'm looking at right now is this. I think the debt ceiling as a whole, you're not going to hear it anymore. It's done. You'll get a little bit more touting from the president. You'll get a little bit more touting from McCartney on the Republican side. And that's it. It's done, right? No one's going to bash it or talk about it very much any longer because it's over. There's nothing to change on. You may disagree with it. Bernie may disagree with it or whomever, and that's fine. They disagree. They can't do anything about it. So their words are going to fall on deaf ears. It doesn't make a difference. All right. But going forward, we still have debt and what this debt ceiling does to us to be concerned with. Right now, the reduction of 1.5 or 2 trillion, I keep hearing different numbers, over the next 10 years is great. Biggest reduction we've ever had as a nation, singular reduction we've ever had as a nation. That's great, right? But we're also at the highest we've been. We also have the highest revenue collection already than we've ever had. I think only once before we've gotten anywhere near this on a part of GDP, right? So all of these things combined tell me that I still want to keep the majority of my trading a little bit shorter term based on what else is happening around this debt ceiling, right? You still have other countries out there. I mean, I talked to a guy, and obviously I won't say his name, but I talked to a guy who had an interest in Mastermind Group. Found us saw something about us on YouTube, saw the Key to Be Free training, came into that. I talked to him on the phone, and he had very little to get started with and needed to figure out how he was going to make $2 million, between $1 and $2 million over the next 2 months. Why? He said, because the dollar's going to crash. We're going to go into absolute turmoil. There'll be nothing left. You need to take the monies and move it into foreign currencies and buy gold and buy Bitcoin, not foreign, alternative currencies. Buy gold, buy Bitcoin, buy other stuff. And he had nothing to trade with. He was trying to make $1 to $2 million in the next 2 months, right? Good luck. It obviously didn't work out. But there's some of that mentality out there that what happens from a Russia and a China, right? And I know Mexico is trying to debunk us as the clearing currency. Good luck to Mexico, okay? Brazil, good luck, okay? Go for it, right? Russia, China, yeah, there's serious concern there, right? From multiple fronts in there. And it's already happening. China is already insisting on many countries pay them directly instead of using the US as clearing currency, right? Which takes 4% of that transaction, which should be going to us, goes away, right? So bottom line is I am still looking at, I'm willing to branch out a little into some of those swing trades, but I am still looking at a shorter term, even on swing trades, shorter term where I want to be in and out of that trade much quicker than trying to hold on for weeks or months, right? Just not comfortable enough yet to go that long term. Also on my swing trades, we are doing what's called an aggressive trade, which means my maximum is going to be 4 contracts. That's the max we're willing to do right now. Dip our toe in the water, see what it does. I may do both. I may call a swing and a day trade on something and do a 10 and a 4, right? Just to, again, get into that 10 contract mode. But I'm not willing to I'm not willing to do, a large amount on a swing trade just yet. Right. Tripp said, say what you will about the dollar, but nothing even comes close. The Chinese made the US look like amateurs with money printing. Yeah, well, I get that, but you also don't hear anything about China's money printing, right? It's very much under, lock and key. It's not some politicians screaming at the top of their lungs, lies in many cases, right, of what's being said out there. Yeah, there you go. Erica said, I thought we were in a recession already. Does this impact the dollar? It could, Erica. Yes, all of this could impact dollar, which is where that bottom line comes down to, is how do banks lend money for borrowing, right? So those that are looking to buy houses or start businesses or even cars, right? How does that affect bottom line? Okay, all of that can and does. Right. Tripp said, because the yuan is not allowed to leave China for fear of a mass exodus. Yeah. Yeah, go figure, right? Leave your car and your money at the airport and you can leave, but you can't take it with you. Okay, that CEO of one of the travel companies today, I don't know if it was Booking or I don't think it was Booking, maybe Expedia. So no, it was Hilton. It was Hilton. Was on today talking about China is not traveling yet like they were, but the Chinese people want to travel. They have just not gotten back to it yet. And Hilton is just rocking. I mean, we just booked a place this summer. We're going to be down in Florida for 1, maybe 2 weeks. We're not sure yet, but we just booked a place this summer down there. And we paid handsomely for the place. I've stayed there before, and we paid, I don't want to say double, but at least 50% more than we did even just a few months back, right? For the exact same room that we had gotten before, right? Same room type that we got before. Okay, so crazy. All right, what stocks you guys want me to take a look at? Drop them in. What stocks you want to check out? Put those symbols in there, and I will bring them up. Jennifer said, how is house hunting going? It's okay. We just haven't made a decision on, are we going to get that pullback, that crash happening yet in the Asian market or in the Florida housing market. Everything that we're seeing and hearing is very much area specific. The whole rest of the country could be going to pot, and there are certain spots in Florida that are just explosive. So we just haven't made up our mind, yay or nay, of when yet. But we're still looking. We're still in talks with the realtor on a regular basis. So let's see. All right. So all right. So we got Bitcoin. Erica had asked for Bitcoin BTC 055. I think it's 067 is the norm one. So actually, let me go over here. Better off. I like the chart a little bit better on TradeStation. All right. So here's Bitcoin today. Right. So big drop, 26, almost 27. Well, actually, we started out at 27.5. Right, 27,500. We're now at 25,500. Call it almost $2,000 drop today. Now, Bitcoin has had a bit of a tailspin. We're up at 28 and change, and now we're at 25 and change. So we've had a bit of a tailspin right there. Right, if we look, and I have not gone through and looked at this in a while, but like I said, I think it was, the 67. Contract. Yeah, 67 is where I had some lines drawn on that. Okay, so I've got an older fib drawn on there, and then kind of lost interest in it. Wasn't really focused on what was happening with it any longer. If we look from here to here. All right, so you can see right from March of last year to May 12th. So it's March, was that the 8th? March 28th. Okay. Okay. So we've had just a massive pullback. We're up at $70,000 last year. We're down to a third of that right now, about $25,000. Right? That 25,610 is a critical level. Right? We pierced through it today. And what do I talk about this? It's taking the ice hammer, the chipper, and chipping away at the ice, right? We have now given way and told the bears, it's okay. We broke through the ice for you a little bit. You can bust through it now tomorrow, right? Very common practice. Watch, right? Watch what happens with these. It works up and down, right? To the break. Erica said, I need to sell my Bitcoin. Don't have a good feeling about it. It's supposed to be long-term, but it may go to zero. And I don't think we'll go to zero, but I do think that it is an alternative currency. And if the market's going well, I think you'll see more people pull money out of the market and put more into the market than in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts doing well, I think you'll see more come out of the market and go back into the alternatives. I don't think it's a bad thing to have some. I think it's a bad thing if you're fully vested in it. I taught a workshop one time, 3-day workshop that I was doing, a private workshop for a group, training their people on how to trade the market, a group of brokers. And one of the gentlemen in the group, his entire 401k was in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin had skyrocketed that week. And literally for the full 3 days, this was him. Did not take his face out of that phone, watching what was going on, because he's counting the dollars up and down as it's going against him, right? So, all right. Let me switch over from a different symbol box there. Get all stocks. All right, put your symbols in, guys, whatever you want me to look at. AMD is, Trip's got his 3 in there, the Trip Trio. Okay, so on AMD, I mean, how much better of a picture can that be, Trip? Actually, I think, did you redraw your fibs already, Trip? We got it right now. It's there. Yes? Okay, good. Which day? I can't tell which is lower. 81.11. 81.02. Okay, so the solid candle here. All right, so AMD, let's make this box a bit smaller. 1030, so look, we'll call it 10 and change, 119. All right, so we're going to add in a negative 136 and a 118, which are our Fibbits. Okay. So now I like the pullback. I like the confluence. We're at a rank of 1 between the 8 moving average and the 236 line. I'd love to see that move back up to about 120, Trip, a retest and a bounce, and then 125 is resistance. Love that for sure. Good candidate, Trip. Like it a lot. Micron, MU. All right, so May, June, we're getting old as far as the fib goes. That's for sure. So let's go ahead and put a new fib here. All based on time. That's all it is. This one is based purely on time. We haven't violated anything. All right, 71 is 74, $3.50. We don't need a fib in there. We're good to go. Okay. So on Micron, they did break to the downside today. I like them between that 69 and 71. But then again, if that break included a retest of the 69 and a fail, you're looking to drop to 67. So I do like that. And then IBM. All right, there we go. So fib itself is fine. So we're right now in between that 130.77, that 134 level. Obviously, if you caught something on Friday, it was awesome. But I need that pullback to that 131 first in a bounce before I'm looking at bullish. But 134.25 is my upside target on it. So I hope that helps. What do you mean? Still high APRs on what? What are you talking about there, Jennifer? Sorry. All right. So Erica asked for Roku. Roku. I love Roku. I think crazy if you don't look at them. They trade almost $3 a day movement. They move almost $3 a day. And I missed this today. I didn't catch this one today, Erica. This is one of them that would have been for sure I wanted to look at and just did not see it. Let's go look at the 60-11 level. $60.11. We pushed up, we failed. We pushed up, we failed. We got the move up. Maybe in there. Okay, wasn't that far off from that line. But that's what I'm looking for. The bounce off that 60.11. So we finally broke up above it. If we can get a retest and or a breakout and a bounce, whichever one you trade, probably looking at 63 as resistance. So I would have been in this about 60.5, 60.75. Oh, APRs on housing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really looking that far out. I'm not too worried about the interest rate on it. Here's the thing, guys. If you know the story of the goose that laid the golden egg, right? You've got the goose. Every one of you have a goose to lay a golden egg. You all have it. It's called the stock market. It's called trading, right? The question is, have you found a system that works for you? Have you found the right feed for the chicken to make it spit out eggs, right? Golden eggs instead of eggs, right? Yes, I realize that gold was almost costing less than buying a dozen eggs, right? I get that. But now that that's passed for some measure, right, some extent, to spit out that golden egg, right? What are you feeding it? What's the strategy, right? That's what this is. Because think about it. If you decide you want to buy a house, or let's not go to house, let's say you want to buy a car, and you got 30 grand, you're going to pay for the car up front. Instead, put down the minimum you have to. If you're able to trade the market and generate cash flow, think of what happens there. If you put that whole $30,000 into an account and you trade off it and you make enough to pay it, your car. If your car is $500, right? If I have $30,000 divided by 500, right? What's that? 1/60th. So is that 1/20th to be 5%? You're talking about generating less than 2% a month. So let's do it this way. $30,000 times 0.02, right? That's $600 a month if you're just generating 2% in an entire month on your account. Right now, the car is paid off. You still have the $30,000, right? So I'm a big fan of that. Do that with a car. Do that with a roof. Do that with a house, right? I'm a big fan of that. Yes, numbers get bigger. You got a $300,000 or $500,000, $1 million mortgage. Yes, it becomes much bigger. But you're probably not doing that with $30,000 in the bank either. And I'm not saying you can't make $3,000 a month on a $30,000 account. What I'm talking about is you're not looking to get these massive numbers, a mortgage on $1 million with, you know, 5 grand or 10 grand, right? All right, so big fan of Roku, right? Erica, love it, love it, love it. And then PANW is the next one. All right, so I like PANW. Oh, look at that move today. Yowzer. Yeah, not one I would have traded, okay? We had a nice setup with where the fib was to the price, but that gap up today, I need a pullback Ideally, I want to pull back to the 215 or break the 229.70 retest and bounce. And then we're looking at the next fib line as our next target. We just got to check fib it's in there. So overall, I like the move, but not one I would have traded today. So give me the pullback and the bounce. That's my preference. Or the breakout, the retest, and the bounce from there. Right? I think you're welcome, Erica. Brenda asked for SPY. All right, let's see. So once again, similar but different from PANW. Look at where it is. It's at resistance. Scrunch it down a little bit so we see the next fib lines. Okay, so it's right at resistance, right? I mean, I'm loving where SPY is. My SPY shares are doing good. My Hughes shares are doing good. My Berkshire shares, B shares, are doing phenomenal. Better rate of return on them than I've got on SPY or on Qs from when I bought them. I mean, it's just crushing it in comparison, right? And it's the one I have the least of, no less, which is sad, I guess. But this is my faith in Warren Buffett. So, Brenda, I want to see us get above that 430, right? Retest and bounce, and then we're looking at 435 as resistance. Okay. Yeah, I think if you look at Berkshire B shares, BRK, I put BEK, that's fine. B, the A is well, actually, if you had the A shares, right, you're doing okay at $500,000 a share, right? So if you got 100 shares of that, you're not doing too bad, okay? But the B shares was Buffett's way of splitting the stock without splitting the stock. It's a $329 stock, $330 stock, call it, and it is optionable, so you can rent them out. Jennifer said he diversifies with one stock ticker and buys the lower PE company stocks. Yeah, the A shares are definitely rich, right? Richer. All right, Karen, let's see. We want Shopify. So Shopify, fib is still good on Shopify. I like the move that it's made. I would look at this as an ABC pattern also. All right, let me see something here. Looking at $22. $21.63. Yeah, we're gonna redraw. We're gonna redraw the fibs. Right, we're gonna come off of that swing low that I started the dollar difference tool on. We're actually gonna go to this side here. This little pullback didn't mean anything. Okay, 60 and call it 60 and a half to 65 and a half is $5. We don't need a fib it in there. Probably need one above 65. Yep. So we need a negative 136. So let's add that in first. All right, we'll add that in. Let's go add an ABC in there now. You start off where you started the fib. You finish off where you ended the fib. That's point B. And you come down to the lowest low that it is made. All right. What just happened here is this. We've got a clear path up to 65.54, of course. And then we're looking at 68.54 as our next target. We've got a confluence there of that $69. So that right there tells me if we do make it to that level, a lot of strength, I probably want to be out of the majority of my trade by the time we get there. Now, that is not surprising considering this would be a 1 and a 2 line move, which is 2 standard deviations. Okay, where 95%-ish of all moves, of all calculations have already been exhausted. All right, so you want to be out of the majority of the trade by the time you get up to that 68.54 level. All right, let me bring this current. There we go. All right, but with that being said, give me above the 60, give me up to like 61, retest and bounce, and 65.5 is resistance. So 65-ish would be my target. Yeah, Bonnie, you'll catch this after, not a problem. We'll have it recorded. Yep, for sure. This will be recorded. All right, and then Erica said, what did I say on SPY? Let me go back to it. I don't remember it anymore. So I wanted to either pull back to the 424, or I would prefer that. But if it doesn't, break out of the 430, retest bounce, and 435 is resistance. All right. Last one, Lululemon. You're welcome, Erica. All right, so Lululemon, the see-through pants. All right, let's go and add an 882 in there for a second. We did not close below it. We got below it. We didn't close below it. We're back in October. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So I think we're going to redraw at this point. Somewhere between that 8 to 10 months is when we want to do a redraw. All right, we're looking at $23, 65, 75, 85, 6, 7, 8. All right, we need both a negative 136 and a 118. All right, so we had a really nice move up, good pullback. We're kind of in a mess though right now. I would be very careful. Yeah, had excellent earnings. Yeah, it did. But I would just be very careful. It just seems like it may have been a bit of an overreaction as far as how the earnings were in there, Karen. So I'd be a little bit cautious there. Intraday only for me right now on this, with just too wide of a swing at this point. But get back above the 365 or get down to the 350 level and bounce from there, and we'll take it from that. I wouldn't take the bounce off of the 21. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I'm going to leave the room open for just a couple of minutes. Lee is going to drop that link back in there for the upcoming class with Brandon. Make sure you get registered for that. While you're there, register for Trading Coaches Playbook. As many of you know, Sean Reed, who teaches the Vegas spreads, will be joining our regular schedule for the Trading Coaches Playbook. He came in this last Friday, did a great job with Brandon in there, introducing himself. Brandon's initial introduction, they've known each other for a long time, which is how Sean and I got to talk. So go ahead and register for the Trading Coaches Playbook while you're in there. Register for Brandon's class. Get into Trade with Rob. Go check out Key to Be Free. Guys, we're having conversations of taking Key to Be Free down from there, at least for some time now. So if you still have an interest in that, go and check that out before it disappears. All right, with that, have a great rest of your day. God bless, and I will see all of you at our next update. Take care, folks. Bye for now.